I still love and Juliet. And if you haven't seen it, go see it. That is way easier said than done, especially because it's a musical.
My loneliness is killing me.
Juliet plunges Romeo's dagger into her heart.
What if Juliet didn't die? That should almost be the start of the play.
Hit me, baby, one more time. Since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time. I'm so moving on, yeah, yeah.
And Juliet is a 2019 coming-of-age jukebox musical featuring the music of Swedish pop songwriter Max Martin with a book by David West Reed. David West Reed is probably best known for executive producing Schitt's Creek, as well as Max Martin probably best being known for being the secret hidden talent behind all of the best pop songs. And Juliet premiered in Manchester in 2019, West End in 2019, Toronto in 2022, Broadway in 2022, and Melbourne, Australia in 2023. If you're really dedicated to an account with only 500 subscribers, I appreciate all of you, you might think to yourself, Zach, this year you've already made this video. Why are you making it again? First up, it's May. It's a little cheeky joke, if you've seen the show. Second, I now have a flashy outfit. This is the flashiest pop outfit I have available to me. And Mickey Mouse is here too. You want to speak, Mickey?
I will kill you, Zack.
Okay. And third, probably the most important reason, is this time I am better prepared. If you don't know, I've been kind of keeping up the series of I Love Blank, for example. I Love and Juliet. I Love You, the Netflix television show. I Love Whodunit. I Love A24. And now I wanted to make a follow-up video to my very first I Love video for Anne Juliet, because back then I kind of forced myself to make it. That day I was feeling kind of lazy and I wanted to make something. I was feeling creatively bankrupt, and so finally I just said, you know what, I want to make this video that I wanted to make for a while. And I basically made a very basic reaction video, and I don't stand by that video anymore, not because it was bad or anything, but just because, like, it's low quality, and some of it's just plain wrong. Like, for example, I think I just said that the pop songs were kind of randomly picked, brilliantly picked, but randomly picked, and then I now realize that Max Martin, who all of these songs are from the soundtrack of Anne Juliet, is the creative genius nobody knew. Or maybe I just didn't know. Maybe I'm the idiot. I'm fine with saying that I'm the idiot. So instead of just waiting forever to correct the video that I've always kind of known wasn't the best work that I could have made, I said, now, you know what? This month, I'm listening to the soundtrack, I'm really grooving and moving to it, might as well make a video about it. We are now moving into the spoilers for this show. I'm going to start talking about how I relate to it and then some of the contents of it. So if you still want to, if you're like me and you don't want to spoil any of the songs or any of the story beats or any of the surprises that this show might have, I'd put this in watch later. No, hold on. I'd like the video, and then I'd put this in watch later, and then I'll watch it later. Anyways, let's get to it. My relationship with the show. Funny enough, you all saw me experience the show for the first time. It's in a very random video. You probably wouldn't expect it, but it's called A Minion in London. It's a silly video where my brother made fun of me because I looked like a minion. And then from there I was like, oh, now I'm a minion. And I was in London. That was an important part of the video. Minion in London, there you go. But that night, all of us were going to see And Juliet. And I've been excited to see that show for quite some time, just from the little clips that I've seen on Instagram. When I got there, holy mackerel. Everybody in my party loved the musical. I loved it so much that the very next day when we're on a 8-hour bus ride, I think it was, when we're on an 8-hour bus ride driving to Edinburgh, Scotland for the Fringe Festival, that's a video that'll hopefully come out in the future. Probably half, if not more, of that trip was me listening to the soundtrack on repeat, just reliving the amazing, amazing memories that I'm going to hold in here for the rest of my life. So what is this show about? Well, very simply, it's about Shakespeare pitching to his band of players, hey, I have this new idea for a show, Romeo and Juliet. And everyone's like, oh, magnifique, but the ending's kind of bleak. Anne Hathaway, not the great Anne Hathaway, the other Anne Hathaway, she suggests that Juliet finds confidence and the ability to be happy with herself instead of finding it in Romeo, and goes on this magical, beautiful Gen Z millennial adventure through life. And from there you meet an interesting cast of characters, you get a bunch of brilliant pop songs. To me, this show is about love. And I love, this is going to sound redundant, I love shows about love. It's such a basic human emotion, but when artists and creatives and directors and writers are able to work that in to such a beautifully written narrative that it's almost secondary, it's always in the back of your head, and the action is always at the forefront, but you just keep going with it. It's really incredibly well done stuff, and this happens here so amazingly. Are you kidding? I say this show is about love for a few reasons, because you have Shakespeare and Anne Hathaway, you have Juliet and Romeo, you have Lance and Juliet, you have Lance and May, which is the twist romance I wasn't expecting, but God, it's so good. So that's what I think the show is about. My goodness, I'm gonna quickly look at a list of my favorite songs. I mean, I'm just gonna list them all off, I think. They're all so amazing. Larger Than Life is great. I Want It That Way. That's an interesting song. I am not musically trained. However, I do like to notice some of the intricacies of what makes music so great, and I Want It That Way. I want to say unintentional, but completely available that it is intentional. I Want It That Way is the motif and musical thread that is weaved throughout the show. Obviously, Max Martin, who wrote the music, could have just recycled some of his music, which he did for one song, and I'll point this one out here. In another song that I love, That's the Way It Is, the song between Juliet and Anne before the wedding. Oh, I love that scene. Anne Hathaway's lyric, I might just play the music here instead of letting you hear me sing. I don't know what to say, no. That is from I Want It That Way. Where it's like, from the way I used to be, yeah. That's the same, I feel like I'm tapping into something right there, but that's basically what I'm saying is, I Want It That Way is beautifully weaved throughout the show as sort of this connective tissue between everyone, and this love that everyone feels for each other. It's beautiful. Hit Me Baby One More Time. Domino, oh, I love that one. Show Me Love. Maze, I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman. Oh, God. Oh, it's so beautiful. Overprotected is fun. Confident is fun. I loved Teenage Dream / Break Free. That. Ooh, that was some. It's so good. I want to hug it. I want to hug a song. Is that weird? Yes, but it's okay. I want to hug the song. Oops, I Did It Again. I Kissed a Girl. And then the Act 1 finale. I'm a fan of musicals. When they tell you that there's a big mid-act twist that keeps the audience hooked to come back for Act 2. And this one, I knew Romeo was in the show. But God, when Shakespeare's like, and then I introduce a twist.
It's my life, it's now or never, and I ain't gonna live forever.
I was blind. What's the twist? Brilliance. And then we come back, Love Me Like You Do, and then Since You've Been Gone, that one's great. I haven't mentioned it yet, but because this is the song that it really hit for me. What's a novelty about this show, and you don't really get that with other musicals, I don't like going into musicals knowing what the songs are, especially what the story is. Like, I want to experience it for the first time that way. Not just Broadway, it could be high school shows or anything like that. I just don't want to go into a show and treat it like a concert. However, with the Jukebox musical, that's kind of difficult to say because you might just know the songs already. This show has a particular novelty that is so amazing, and it happened for me in this song, where you start to hear something familiar, and you're like, I swear I know that thing, and then you get it. For me, What Do You Want From Me? That was nostalgia. Adam Lambert is a king, and God, the story leading up for May, and I can't believe I forgot his name. I said Lance earlier, didn't I? I meant Francois. I knew it was Francois. The story between May and Francois is just so incredible up to this point, and then you hit me with one of my favorite songs. Oh God, that's just, it's so cool when a musical can get you on a completely another level when a song starts. One More Try, Problem Can't Feel My Face, That's the Way It Is. Ooh, Everybody, that was another one that surprised. The boy band. Shape of My Heart, incredible. It's Gonna Be Me, yes. Stronger, effin' perfect. Obviously, this is the moment of the show. Roar.
I got the eye of the tiger, dancing through the fire.
Just the costume change and the swing, and it's just so connected with the audience, and that's kind of where the story breaks too. I Want It That Way, Can't Stop the Feeling. It's all incredible. Every song. There is no misses amongst this line of brilliant music from Max Martin. So thank you, Max Martin, and thank you to the brilliant minds behind the show for creating it. I have like a bunch of stuff written here, but basically it's all brilliant. I love all the characters. I think my favorite characters are May and Francois and Lance and the nurse and Anne Hathaway and Shakespeare and Romeo and Juliet. It's all of them, all the characters. Here's a fun little segment. I'm too afraid to sing on YouTube right now, and I don't have the budget for audio equipment, obviously, because you're hearing. But in place of it, I just wrote, who would I be cast as? If I do musicals for this series, I wouldn't mind like Dreamcasting myself, you know what I'm saying? I said his name wrong earlier, but I feel like I would be a perfect Lance. Oh gosh, I love his character so much. The Shape of My Heart and Teenage Dream, some of my favorites. They're all my favorites. Why do I have to keep lying? He's just silly, and I think I'm a silly guy, and I can be a silly guy on stage. And I love the musical, so I think I would kick butt. William Shakespeare is a stretch. I am not the handsome male lead that I would like to be, but I don't know. He's cool. I love it, and I get the character. It's fun. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope it tours. I hope that I could be financially stable, or as I've written here, financially sustainable enough and confident to see it on Broadway. I got to see it on the West End, which was an incredible experience, and I want to see this 50 times over. So anytime I could see it, and anytime I've got the money to go see it, I'm gonna go see it. If I talk about this again, my bad. But I mean, I'll talk about this show in my daily life anyways, over and over again. Although, if I ever talk about this again, it might be because I see the show again, and I just want to talk about how much I love it. So
You should rewrite all your plays.